Hey, thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate that.
On the water report when I get back.
Oh, I would love that. Great. What's your name? Paul Phillip. Hey, that's my brother's name. That's an easy one. Take care. Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is Dia de los Muertos. It's a profound celebration in Mexico. I love spending time during Dia de los Muertos down in Mexico. It's a time when we remember those who have gone on and we keep their memories alive in our hearts and souls. So, for any of you who have lost someone, again, thoughts and prayers go out to you all. My son Patrick and I shot that photo in a cemetery in Rosarito Beach a few years ago, and it really rings true to all of us who are fishermen or love the sea. Again, once again, thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who has lost someone dear in their lives. That is just about every single one of us, and we will be thinking about your loved ones and our loved ones for most of today, this very special day. It is a gorgeous morning here in Southern California. In fact, that gentleman, Paul, who just came by, you saw him on the lead-in, man, that means more to me than you can ever imagine. All the folks who say, hey, we love your show. We love the Friedman Adventures family. Paul, thank you so much for taking the time to drop by this morning. And I will be looking forward to getting some live reports from you when you're out on the water. We got a lot to cover with you here this morning because the offshore bite still kind of hit and miss, but showing even more signs of life as we move up on our Friday night departure on board the Horizon. We are completely sold out on that trip, but I am looking so forward to spending a day and a half with all of you who signed up for that trip. And man, I'm telling you, we're right on the cusp of something really good happening. It looks like it could blow sky high, and I'll have all of that for you here in just a moment. Of course, we'll be watching and seeing if there's any local yellowtail action continuing. The rockfish bite has been absolutely wonderful. Lobster fishing at Catalina has been great, and there just seems to be squid everywhere right now. We'll look into the long-range situation. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Man, it is great to be with you, and it's always nice to start out with a gentleman like Paul. As I said, he came by and said he loves watching the morning briefing, and I deeply appreciate all of you who take time out of your busy day to say that to me. I get that all the time, and I can't thank you enough. 4 million plus views here on the Friedman Adventures family. Over 10 million views when you add in our social media. Once again, thank you so much. Like, if you have a chance, share these videos. Tick the bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And of course, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures channel. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And we thank you all so very much for that. All right, my friends, a lot to cover with you. Let's talk long range for a moment. A couple of boats en route to the Ridge area, several hundred miles down the Baja coast, where there has been spectacular fishing for wahoo and dorado and yellowfin tuna. The Red Rooster 3 arrived there about 4 this morning. How do I know that? Scott Buchert's on board. Our beloved Scott Buchert is on the Red Rooster 3, and he is keeping me up to date on everything that is going on, including their great meals on board. The Royal Polaris is also in that neck of the woods, so we're watching them very, very closely. Of course, down in Magdalena Bay, we have seen some great fishing on the Constitution. They've had excellent dorado fishing, some yellowfin tuna, and a smattering of other species. There's a lot of marlin down there this time of the year. You can get into some really crazy, wide-open marlin bites at times down there. So we'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. In the Ensenada area, they have some offshore opportunities with some yellowfin tuna and bluefin tuna just trying to kick back into gear again. There's a lot of warm water off of Ensenada right now, and there's been quite a bit of yellowfin tuna. Do not write that place off. 70 miles south of the border, the beautiful coastal town of Ensenada, where Dia de los Muertos celebrations are in full swing here this morning. Once again, there's a good opportunity for that YFT. The weather's perfect. we're getting away from the effects of that big full moon. I think this could be a really good weekend down in that neck of the woods. If that doesn't manifest for you, then you have great rock fishing down there and also some really good calico fishing around the Punabanda area, that pristine, gorgeous area where I almost went up on the rocks. I don't know how long ago that was, but we almost got sucked into the blowhole at La Bufadora. You should take a look at that video. Just search that up, La Bufadora with Friedman Adventures. Man, that was crazy. But anyway, that is such a pristine and gorgeous area. There's good calico fishing there, and that offshore scene, I think, is getting ready to really start and rock and roll. All right, San Diego and the offshore fishing areas in general. Man, I just turned around and look at that. I can't believe how blessed we are. It is freaking gorgeous with Catalina Island in the background. It's an absolutely gorgeous morning here this morning. Once again, our offshore situation has been in the toilet for about a week, ever since that full moon got on us. And we've seen this over and over and over again, where fish get into a funk during the full moon. And we are witnessing that once again. Valentino makes his appearance. There he is. So I think we're under the effects of that, but we're starting slowly but surely to come out of it. I predicted, and my predictions, you know how bad they are. I predicted with Sam De La Torre the other day on our Tackle Shop Confessions live show that Thursday would be the day when this really started to turn on again. We've seen some pretty good signs of life, so hopefully today it's going to get rocking and rolling. And then by Saturday, when we're out on board the horizon, it's going to be game on. I'll have some tackle recommendations for all of you on the horizon, and of course for everybody else who is fishing offshore this weekend in just a moment. Let's look at a couple of scores. Pacific Queen on a day-and-a-half trip back in, 61 yellowfin tuna, 3 yellowtail. That is not bad, my friends. That's looking good. That was for 34 anglers on the Queen. That's as good a score as we have seen in quite some time. New low end on a 3-day, 43 yellowfin, 11 bluefin. That was for 19 anglers. Slowly but surely starting to get back into the game here. The Limitless last night, limits of bluefin tuna. It was a twilight kind of bite, went into the dark. It was full speed. Excellent fishing on that yacht. I think the Limitless is like a 44-foot Pacifica, if I remember right, and that really good twilight fishing. So we're going to recommend some knife jigs to you in just a moment. Some really excellent signal inside. Now, the San Diego boat that leaves out of Seaforth in the morning, comes back in the evening, not out today because of a lack of reservations. Man, I'm thinking today might be the day that you wanted to be on there. They had 10 bluefin tuna yesterday. You know, some of you might say, well, what's the big deal? 10 bluefin tuna, not all that great. Man, you are kind of right, I guess. But man, that's more than they've had for quite some time. It took them a while to find a school of fish. And when they found it, it stuck with them pretty darn well. And that hasn't been happening for the past week. So here we go. I think we're getting ready to have this bite turn back on again. Water temps are perfectly perfect. Baits all over the place. And we've got really gorgeous weather right now. I mean, all the signs are there. And you have to think, is the season over or is just that full moon lull? And I'm going with the full moon. And I'm going with that this thing is going to really start to bite. Now, you definitely have to have some 25, 30-pound fluoro to fly line with. Most of the guys are going to recommend 30 so that you have some pulling power against these fish, as well as stay away from getting bit off. But sometimes you have to drop down to 25 pound. So don't forget, bring 25, 30-pound fluoro. Then you're going to want to have some 40 and 50, and I would still have some even heavier than that. If you really want to be covered, 25, 30, 40, you should be in really good shape in terms of trying to get a bite, choosing a good hot bait, changing that bait regularly, and then observing what's working best. A nose hook bait, a back hook bait, a belly hook bait. In most cases here recently, the belly hook bait seems to be working best of all. And there has been sinker rig fish here recently. On the San Diego, they had it. They've seen it on other boats. So you do definitely want to have some torpedo sinkers. 4-ounce torpedoes should be about right for you. And you don't want to fish with anything less than 50 pound when you're fishing a sinker rig. Again, that'll give you good pulling power, and it does get bit in the depths like that. So that is also something to bring along. And finally, a couple more things. We're talking jigs now. The small, shiny type jigs have been very effective here recently and could really get rocking and rolling. That gives you an advantage of also catching those fish on heavier line. 50-pound is what you want to fish those Daiwa Sacanas, 100 to 150 gram. A few of those in your tackle arsenal will really help you get the job done. Now, the Limitless shows us, and we also saw it on the Pride out of 22nd Street Landing the other day, that there is the possibility of a night bite. That bluefin seems to be kicking back into gear. Now, I'm not sure where we're going to fish on the horizon. I'm not even sure whether we're going to fish at nighttime. That kind of call gets made in the very last hours. But I would definitely plan on bringing some 2-speed reels, 100-pound Spectra, 200-pound leader material, 300 to 500 gram knife-type jigs will work really, really well. Daiwa SKGs are a great choice for sure. You want to have that along with you because there has been some pretty good night bites. Now, if we end up going to Tanner or Cortez and the weather's okay to get out there, you're not going to have any nighttime fishing. If we fish more local, then we are going to have a shot. There's fish down south of the border. There's some fish out in front again, and then there's a little bit of sign out there in Tanner and Cortez. And as I say, the intel just keeps flowing in to these guys. They make their decisions at the very last moment. So as of right now, if you come tackled up with all of the stuff that I mentioned to you, and if you're on another rig, I think you're going to be in good shape with those kinds of tackle recommendations. I love what's going on. I love to see how we are seemingly headed in the right direction. Today's a pivotal day. Anything goes on, I'll be updating you for sure, keeping you all updated on all our social media. Island bites have been, kind of non-existent because this offshore bite, while it has been down for about a week, is showing signs of coming back. Most of the islands, and we go south the border, Todos Santos, which is off there off Ensenada, rockfish for the most part, occasional yellowtail. Up at San Clemente Island, Coronado Islands, rockfish. Clemente, mostly rockfish also. You get up into the Channel Islands, and it's been superior rock fishing up there. They have just a lock on some of the best rock fishing anywhere up there. And then Morro Bay, if you want to go a little bit further, it's been spectacular on the bottom bite, including lots of links. Santa Barbara, same kind of a thing. We're seeing some good fishing going on there. On the local scene down in San Diego, we had that La Jolla yellowtail bite. That's backed off a little bit, but some of the kayakers and private boaters continue to get that. The new Seaforth is going to go deep water cod fishing this morning and this afternoon, and so are several of the other boats. The Dolphin out of Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. So we'll see how that all plays out. We'll see if that bite gets going again. There's a lot of squid around town right now. Catalina Island had some friends on board the Gale Force. Look at the big jag of squid they got on last night. And of course, we love that, man. I mean, that just is the food chain playing out before your eyes. That is the magnet, that market squid that sucks in all kinds of predators, not only for 2023, but for 24, which is just a month or so away, a couple months away. So keep that in mind. I mean, that's looking really good. And they had some great fishing on the Gale Force. And I can get a lobster report from my guys. They go on a lobster boat and never send me any information if they got lobster or not. Bob Gifford, what the heck are you guys thinking about? But anyway, they said they caught plenty of whitefish. It was a gorgeous day. Had all kinds of squid show up. It really sounded quite good on that trip. That was on the Gale Force out of LA Harbor sport fishing. And sometime around 12 noon today, Bob Gifford's going to say, oh, yeah, we had plenty of lobster. So I'll update you later on that. Once again, on the surf, we continue to see some really excellent fishing going on. There's still a little bit of barred perch around. We continue to see yellowfin croaker, spotfin croaker, occasional halibut. And then if you're into catching a guitar fish or two, there's still a little bit of that around. Also, bait is what you want to use when you're fishing for spotfin croaker. On the yellowfin croaker, a little chrome crocodile works really, really well. You can catch perch that well. And there's also a lot of corvina, and this is beautiful weather for corvina fishing. You're going to fish that inside of where that wave is breaking right now. Right inside there. Just make a nice little toss with a Carolina rig, 6-pound test, a sandworm or a sand crab, something like that. And you can get all that tackle and all that bait at, Big Fish bait and tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. A 10-minute walk for me right from here. So that is a beautiful thing, let me tell you. I'm telling you, Big Fish not only has your tackle for surf fishing, not only has your bait for surf fishing, but they have all your big game fishing needs also right there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. And there's great fishing all throughout here, also on this beautiful, gorgeous fall morning in Southern California. All right, my friends, we're going to continue to watch it. Some dates that are very important. December the 2nd is a huge date because it's our Christmas party. You're all invited to come and hang out, have a meal with us, bring in the Christmas year. December the 2nd will be at the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. Send me a text if you want to attend. I'll reserve your spot for you. Patreon members and a guest are absolutely free. So if you're a Friedman Adventures Patreon member, you're free. You get a great meal. There'll be raffles. There'll be all kinds of fun. Who knows what else may occur on that very special day. December the 2nd. Just text me. I'll send you some information on that. All right, my friends, have a wonderful day. Dia de los Muertos is today a day when you keep alive in your heart and soul your loved ones. And, you know, that shot that Patrick and I took down there at the Rosarito Beach Cemetery with that nautical theme to it. Well, it reminds me of course, Eddie Leland, who passed away here recently, and so many others in our sport of sport fishing here in Southern California. So it's a memory about that. Incidentally, Eddie's memorial is going to be November the 11th at All Souls Cemetery in Long Beach from 4 to 8 in the evening. So have a special day today, remembering your loved ones who have gone on. All right, I'll be watching it very, very closely. Can't thank you enough for being part of the Friedman Adventures family. And as always, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends.